My name is Chef Coco, and you are watching Joburg Today.
Hello and welcome to Joburg Today. My name is Dumi Hlapo, bringing you the best of what's going down in and around Johannesburg. Sometimes it can be hard to pinpoint the essential ingredients needed to make an ordinary, everyday blog great. But for the secret Jozi chef, the passion he shares with readers for everyday wholesome meals and recipes keep him on the right track.
I mean, Paul, it's great to see you again. It's been a while. So tell me, Paul, the reason why I actually came here was to talk to you a bit about your blog. So let's start off from the very beginning. I mean, what motivated you to get involved in it?
Well, I suppose it's like all of those things. It was actually, I think if I had thought about how much work it was going to be, it wouldn't have ended up. I didn't think it through. I thought I'm going to create a page, I'm going to share a couple of recipes. I was actually working on a cookbook, and I thought I'll share it with my friends. Secret Jozi Chef came out, popped it on. 6 weeks later, I had 3,000 people following me. Wow. And all of a sudden, I discovered that Paul kind of was hanging on to the Secret Jozi Chef. And I just decided at that stage I was going to let the Secret Jozi Chef evolve the way it needed to evolve and the way people wanted it to evolve.
And how's been the following like? I mean, the brand itself as well as the business that you currently have?
It had a huge impact on my business. Suddenly people got to know who I was because I've been hiding in the kitchen for the last 14 years upstairs. I don't work in the front. I don't like people, hence the secret. But the secret kind of didn't work. And then I started to get into the teaching. And that was, I think, where my big connection to the Secret Jozi Chef came in. I actually love that sharing of the passion and of the cooking and all of that.
Now, you mentioned planning. So why don't you share with me the secret behind the Secret Jozi Chef's execution of an actual blog?
The inspiration, as for everything else for me, is my appetite. I really am driven by kind of like food that I'd like to eat, and then I let little other things influence. So at the moment, I seem to be cooking a lot of spicy food, a lot of slow cooked food. It's winter, and everybody wants to sort of eat those meals. And I do think those are the things that I allow to sort of shape where we're going to go. But it's a very relaxed process because I was intent on making sure that as much as the Secret Jozi Chef is in charge, he kind of doesn't run my life. So sometimes I will post 3, 4, 5 times in a week, and other times my guys out there are lucky if there's one. Yeah, that's it. I've been pretty quiet for the last couple of weeks because of the school, but people are kind of still there and they're still communicating and we're still talking. And I'm amazed. I mean, I still get stopped in the supermarket by random ladies who want to talk to me about what's for supper.
It's actually funny you should mention that because I was about to ask you, whether or not people influence your blog as a whole.
They do, and I think a lot of it generally first started with the more sort of serious questions, health stuff. I can't eat cream, I can't do this, what can I do instead? And then it started to come from a sort of an interaction of, well, what's on the shelves at the moment? People are looking for inspiration. We are kind of a little bit stuck in our supermarkets. We always have a ton of mince and chicken breasts, and like I have shared probably 60 chicken recipes, and it doesn't matter how many I share, people just want more and more and more. And that's one of the things. So I think it is a case of what people want and also what I want, and then the two meet. And I think that's the success of the page.
So look, moving forward with the blog, where do you see yourself the next couple of years?
It's kind of already pointing the direction we're going to be going. And it was a reminder that when I started the blog 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, it was to test recipes for my cookbook. Sadly, as I finished the cookbook, I didn't back it up to the cloud. I'm not a technical person, and my car was jammed and I lost my laptop and I lost my cookbook. So the natural progression now is actually to go back to where I started it all and to produce the cookbook. And there's actually now 2, because there's the one that was inspired by my restaurant, but then there's also been the Secret Jozi Chef, quick, easy recipes that can have that sort of appeal. So that's kind of where the next stage of the evolution is, back into wanting to produce my cookbook.
That's fantastic.
My name is Chef Martin, and you're watching Joburg Today.
Like us on Facebook, joburgtoday.tv, and follow us on Twitter at Joburg Today. Still with the Secret Jozi Chef, Leroy got the opportunity to get to know the man behind the blog, Paul Maciel.
wow. I mean, the presentation of the food looks unbelievable, and the aroma that's coming out of it, divine. But you know what they say about good food? It brings around good friends. So why don't you tell me about how you grew up?
Sure, that was a long time ago. I grew up in Malawi, and I think I was really blessed to have a really simple kind of lifestyle. And it was all about family, it was about gathering around food, it was about a connection through family and food, and I think that's just kind of reflected through the rest of my life.
Now, you told me just behind the scene that you actually moved around a lot. Did that sort of have an impact on how you actually prepare food today?
I think you can't avoid but allow it to influence. I mean, I was a kid when I was doing all of the moving, and my parents kind of just tried to assimilate into wherever we were. So when I lived in Zimbabwe, I got to know about the local food. And when I was in Zambia, it was the same thing. And I think that then came through. And then with my background, Portuguese and Indian, the food heritage is really big for us. So when it just everything influences how you end up. And I think living throughout Africa as a teenager really did make a big difference.
You started off in advertising, then you moved into the food and restaurant business. What's been that transition like for you?
I think it was just really a case of, after having avoided it and having made a conscious decision before I'd even tried it, that I wasn't going to get into food because I'd seen how much hard work it had been for my parents. I kind of actually reached a stage where I just knew that I had to do something that I loved every single day. And corporate is great, but you kind of love it more between the 25th of the month and the 2nd of the month. And I made a decision that I wanted to enjoy my work every single day, and food was just the most natural thing for me to do.
Looking back at your life, is there anything that you'd change?
Not a thing. Not a thing. I think I am here and I am who I am because of the life that I have led. Would I not be involved in corporate? The corporate world taught me so much. I don't think I would have made a success of my restaurant if I didn't have the corporate background. You know, so everything has its reason, it has its time, but I'm so glad the day I hit 29 I decided no more corporate and I was out of it.
Emilio, what's it been like being Paul's friend for the last couple of years?
Well, basically, to put it this way, I have a law degree, and until I met Paul, I wasn't really sure what to do with my life, and he really inspired me by watching him and seeing his process and his appreciation and love for the connection with food and with people. That really inspired me to also follow and actually realize that dream of mine, which is involved in food as well. So I essentially have decided to take a path where I decided food would be the real deal for it. And the beautiful thing is that I connected so well with Paul is because we got brought up in a very similar way because of our cultural heritage. I'm half Portuguese, half Italian. So it turns out when he was looking at his mother's cookbooks from the 70s, the recipes would match my grandmother's recipes. So it was a really beautiful thing, and with that was a nice foundation for our friendship to grow and also for our love for food to grow and to start working together with it.
Well, guys, thank you a lot for this beautiful meal. Now, why don't we all dig in?
That's all for today. For more on the city, do check out our playlist. From myself, Dumi Hlapo, and the Joburg Today crew, it's goodbye.